UFC 299 happened last night, and oh my god. The card was stacked on paper, and it definitely came through, because every fight was a banger. There was something fun about it, except Mateus Gamrot. Anyways, boring, man. But we're going to go through just the prelims and the main card. I will actually, you know what? I'll talk about some of the early prelims. Joanne Calderwood, she retired. You know, I'm not really going to talk much about these, but one of the early prelims that I do want to focus on, Rebellis de Spain made his UFC debut. He's like 6'8". He's a crazy heavyweight. He's going to knock out all the fat heavyweights. He knocked out Josh Parisian last night, and it was in 18 seconds. And the stoppage was a little early, but like, come on. It's Josh Parisian. He's not going to do anything. Rebellis de Spain, I believe all of his fights have been less than like 40 seconds, which is crazy, regardless of who he's fighting. I'm sure they'll pad his record a little bit. He is old, but it's the heavyweight division. I actually think he could have a future. I think he's going to be able to beat a lot of the top 15 until he starts running into guys who actually go to the gym, like Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, Sergey Pavlovich, you know, those guys. Jelton Almeida even, which we'll talk about him pretty soon. But anyways, yeah, Rebellis de Spain, definitely as advertised. That was fun. Michel Pereira, he beat Mikhail Olazejczyk. Actually a very surprising fight. I didn't think he would dominate him the way he did. Olazejczyk only landed one strike in the fight and got submitted within a minute. 1 minute, 1 second, actually. And yeah, that was... Michel Pereira is really good. He looks really good at middleweight. I think that's someone to look out for. He's going to get ranked fights, I believe, and he's exciting. His entrance was unbelievable. It was ridiculous, but it was funny. Jan Kutalaba, the most most stupid, I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to. He's the most retarded fighter in the UFC. He lost to Felipe Lins, who's not a scrub, but I definitely thought Jan Kutalaba was going to win because he's actually faced good opponents. Felipe Lins beat him. I don't know how you can paint yourself green and take yourself serious and be such a tryhard and be that bad at fighting. Anyways, those were the early prelims. Now for the prelims and the main card, which I did predictions on. Opening the prelims, I was 1 for 1. I called the Kyler Phillips decision, and that's exactly what happened. He beat Pedro Munoz. You know, I saw a lot of people picking Pedro, to be honest, which shocked me. A lot of people talk about his leg kicks. Yeah, he kind of just kicks your calf. So does every fighter in the UFC. I don't know. I'm not on the Pedro Munoz train. He's really slow. Kyler Phillips just looked really fast. Kyler Phillips is really good. Teammated Sean O'Malley, so that's exciting. Totally just destroyed him in the striking. He didn't even go for a takedown. Pedro only got 1 takedown in the fight on 8 attempts. Kyler Phillips outclassed him, dominated him from start to finish. It was a really good performance by Kyler. He looks really fast. His striking's fun to watch. He has some exciting matchups within the top 10 of the rankings. I believe Munoz was number 9 or something? I know he was in the top 15. So we could see Kyler get some really exciting matchups, and I'm excited for that. Then I went 2 for 2 because Mateus Gamrot, the most boring fighter in the UFC, still got dropped by Dos Anjos, old man Dos Anjos, who only landed 39 strikes in the whole fight and just got dominated. Gamrot shot 19 takedowns and got 11 of them, which is crazy because Dos Anjos is a good wrestler too. Yeah, he just dominated him. Yes, he got dropped. I believe a lot of people gave Dos Anjos that round, which I get, because if you get dropped, you probably shouldn't win a round. But he just dominated him the rest of the time, so it makes sense that he won. He's really boring, Mateus Gamrot. I want to see him fight someone who will just knock him out. I really wish Fiziev didn't get cursed and break his leg. Oh my god, that was so disappointing. Maybe they'll rematch. Maybe they'll rematch soon, because, I mean, I don't see why you can't do that, if I'm being honest. I want to see Mateus Gamrot lose soon. Sorry. I don't know what it is about him, but he just makes me so mad. It's his fight style, but like even just looking at his face makes me mad. But I was right about that prediction. I think everyone was right who bet on Dos Anjos. Originally, I picked Caitlin Chookagian to beat Macy Barber, but then I really started thinking about it more, and I changed my prediction on my Instagram. So in my video, I say Chookagian, but really, I changed my pick to Macy Barber by decision. Exactly what happened. Every woman's fight is a decision, by the way, so like, don't give me any credit there. Macy Barber looked pretty good. You know what I mean? Like to see her against Mackenzie Dern next. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. Macy Barber, she's supposed to be pretty good, so we'll see. I don't know. Women's fights, I don't like talking about them a lot. They're just... Anyways, featured prelim: Curtis Blades versus Jelton Almeida. Now I picked Almeida to win by decision, and after the first round, when the horn buzzed at the end of the round, that's when I woke up, because it was a snooze fest, because all Almeida does is hold you against the cage and throw one. He landed one significant strike yet he had 9 takedowns in the first round. He doesn't do anything with the takedowns. He just, oh my God. Which, okay, I will say though, very impressive. He took down Curtis Blades 9 times. He manhandled Curtis Blades, who's a good wrestler. But round 2, Blades stuffed the takedown and just destroyed him with ground and pound. And it was the best moment of my life. Not actually, but I ran around my living room screaming. I was so happy. Curtis Blades is that dude. He called out Tom Aspinall, and I'd actually be down for that. And I kind of respect that because he holds a win technically over Aspinall in the record books. But he knows, like, that was a fluke, like, injury. I think that fight would be really interesting to run back. I do think Aspinall would beat him. Super cool for Blades. Super happy for him. He saved the heavyweight division with that. Thank God. And then we open up the main card on pay-per-view. I was so nervous. Petr Yan versus Song Yadong. Unfortunate last name. We love Song Yadong though. Pause. I was so nervous for Yan. I picked Yan by decision. 29-28 by the way. Just saying. I thought Song did win the first round. It was close, but I thought he did win the first round. Petr was scaring me, but then in the second and third, he really turned up, landing some insane body shots. His body shot, he was putting so much into those hooks. And he was, oh my God, some of the most insane takedowns I've ever seen in a UFC fight. I was going crazy. He literally like somersaulted on the ground and dragged Song Yadong down with him. It was crazy. Every time I say Song's last name, I get like distracted because I'm like, oh my God, no. Honestly, very impressed with Song. He got tired. That fight was very tiring though. Like they did so much. So they were both pretty tired. And that says a lot because we've seen Yan go 25 minutes effortlessly almost. Yan's back in the win column, which is huge because he was on 3 straight losses. He lost, 4 of his last 5? And I was just so hyped. Me and my dogs love Petr Yan, you know? So it was really good to see him win again. He also, in English, I believe he said he's rematch season. So I know he wants to get some of those losses back. Of course, he lost to Aljo, O'Malley, Merab. So we could see that. Obviously, his fight with O'Malley was so close. Like, that would be such a fun fight to see Yan back one day if Yan can win 2 or 3 more, I'd imagine. Don't know what's next for him. I've seen people matchmaking him with Cheeto. Seen him matchmake with Corey. I don't think he should rematch Sandhagen. I think Sandhagen has done enough. He should get a title shot. We'll talk about that more in the end. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. As for Song Yadong, he looked good still. I think he's going to beat most of these guys in the top 10. I just think Petr Yan is that guy. In the welterweight division, Gilbert Burns faced Jack Della Maddalena. I picked Jack Della Maddalena to get a second round TKO. He, of course, did it in the 3rd round. To be honest, Gilbert did way better than I even expected, which, shame on me. I know Gilbert's a beast, but just didn't see him getting anything done against Jack Della Maddalena. People were saying Jack's takedown defense was improved. I mean, it's still alarming when you get taken down 7 times in a fight by old man Gilbert Burns. Gilbert does nothing with these positions, though. He kind of just lays on you, and he was on his way to a very boring decision. The fight was entertaining, but he was trying to hold him down for the rest of the fight. He was just trying to secure that decision. I thought Gilbert was up 2-0. Debatably 1-1, though, because JDM did crack him in the first with some really good shots. His scrambles have gotten so much better. Maddalena's, of course. I don't like his chances against elite grapplers. Before we get there, of course, Burns was a minute away from winning the fight. JDM hits this crazy, like, somersault scramble, gets up, throws a knee, just hoping it'll find Gilbert's chin. Gilbert was shooting in. It caught him perfectly, and Dan Miragliotta just stood there and let Gilbert get murdered with vicious elbows, ground and pound to the side of the head. JDM with a big comeback win. It was super impressive. I was hyped. I wanted JDM to win. It was sad to see Burns lose. Don't know what's next for Burns. He's going to have to fight down in the rankings. He's never going to be a champion in this weight class, sadly. He's old. He probably only got 1 or 2 left in the tank. JDM wins. Has the craziest call out. He called out Shavkat Rakhmonov. Make it happen. Make it happen. Number 1 contenders fight. I think Shavkat kills him. I'm not going to lie. I think the striking will be fun to watch. But I think Shavkat will even be like, okay, relax, Jack Della. And he's going to get a hold of him. And if Gilbert can hold Jack down like that, get 7 takedowns, Shavkat doesn't just lay on you. He's going to try to submit him. I think Shavkat gets a submission win over JDM. Hopefully they make that like a fight night main event or like a 5-rounder co-main. That would be insane. Loved the call out. I think that fight will be awesome. I think JDM has potential to be a champion one day, but I do think Shavkat will stop him. Moving on to the featured fight, it was Kevin Holland versus MVP. I underestimated MVP. I said Holland by decision. I said MVP. I kind of got persuaded into the idea of him fighting bums because let's be honest, he kind of does. But clearly, he can hang with the top 15 in the UFC. Now, Kevin Holland, his stock dropped a lot with this one. He looked awful. He embarrassing with his mocking of MVP style in the third round. He just couldn't do anything. He literally told his coach way faster than we thought. He told him that after the first round. Don't know how he didn't get knocked out. MVP hit him with some crazy shots. I think MVP beats every striker in this division. I think he could probably beat Leon. I think he beats Israel Adesanya. I think he beats Wonderboy, which, by the way, let's make that happen. I think MVP knocks out Wonderboy. And that fight will be awesome. They need to make it happen. I think that'll be Wonderboy's last fight. He's going to get knocked out by MVP. But I think MVP has a really good chance of getting to the title if they book him right. As soon as they put him against a grappler, he's going to die. Kevin Holland was able to take him down twice, and he doesn't even have great wrestling. And he almost got a choke. Imagine if that's like someone like Shavkat, or even someone like Sean Brady, I think, could stop Michael Page. But I think Michael Page, I was super impressed with him. I thought this fight was going to be a boring decision. I thought they were just going to play the range game and Kevin was going to outpoint him, do a little more, stay a little more active. Nope, MVP. I just didn't look into him enough, I guess. I've seen his highlights. I've watched a couple of his fights. Didn't think he was going to translate this well into the UFC, especially being 36 years old. Fastest guy in the UFC. Well, fastest guy in the welterweight division by far. I was super impressed. I'm actually glad he won. That's a big move for the UFC. Co-main. Now, I was drinking the Benoit St. Denis Kool-Aid, and I paid for it. Dustin, my man. I wanted Dustin, but I predicted Benoit. I really like Benoit. I think he's going to come back, and I think he's going to be really good still. I don't know if he had staph infection, but regardless, you're not going to win a fight against Poirier when you're swinging with your hands by your waist. Like, Benoit's striking defense looked horrible, and we knew that was a problem. He blocks punches with his head. Definitely caught up to him. You can't block punches with your head against someone like Dustin Poirier. Poirier showed he's still the dog. And we keep saying, like, oh, these older guys need to give the younger guys a chance. What's happened? Gaethje's beat Fiziev. Now Poirier's beat Benoit St. Denis. I don't even know where Poirier goes from this. He caught him with some clean combos. Stupidest fighter in the UFC. Just kidding. All those guillotines were ridiculous. Guillotines don't work at a high level, and Poirier keeps trying to jump him. I did love his quotes, though. They were very funny. Talking about, you miss everyone you don't jump. That's hilarious. And he claims he's going to get one day. Maybe if you fight Paddy Pimblett. So maybe we'll book that next. I think even Pimblett gets out of it, though, Dustin. It would be really ironic and funny if Dustin were to beat like Gaethje or Makhachev with a guillotine, though. Anyways, super impressed with Poirier. He was getting dominated in the first round, let's be real. Benoit is an animal. I don't think this lowered his stock at all. I think he's still a killer. I think he beats... You saw what he did to Dustin? That's Dustin Poirier. Benoit's going to do that to most of the top 10. He's going to finish them. Poirier just caught him. And Poirier looked good. And I think if Benoit can improve his striking defense, he's still got potential to be a champion one day. But yeah, I don't know where Benoit goes from this. He's going to be like ranked 15th or so. So he might fight outside the rankings, or he'll fight someone just kind of closer to him. I think he beats a lot of these guys. But Poirier looked amazing, and I was super happy with it. I don't know what's next for Poirier. Could he do like a quadrilogy with McGregor? It's possible. Could he do a trilogy with Gaethje? It's possible. I personally don't really want to see any of those. I want to see him fight one more guy maybe below him. And then if he wins that, then we start talking about possible title shot or possibly finishing one of those big money fights. And if he wins that, then definitely title shot. But I don't know. Poirier got so many title shots, and I love him, but I think he needs to win a couple more. Much respect to Dustin, though. Future Hall of Famer. Love that man. So glad he won. So sad for Benoit, though. So that was a prediction I definitely got wrong. So I was on a 2L streak there. But got it back with the Sean O'Malley main event win. Honestly, I know it's Marlon Vera. And people are going to say like, oh, Marlon Vera's the punching bag. He stood there the whole time. No one's made Marlon look that bad. No one's even hurt Marlon. No one's made him bleed. No one's bruised him. Like, O'Malley made him look like a monster. O'Malley landed 232 strikes, 230 of them being significant. Cheeto only landed 36% of his strikes. This was a masterclass. Marlon, when he tried to make it ugly, did just that, and it got a little messy, and it was a little scary for O'Malley. As an O'Malley fan, I was a little scared in those moments. O'Malley was not hurt once in this fight. He got caught at the end of the fight. Very last punch thrown. Took the wind out of him. Big body shot because he went in for the kill. It was a messy fight. At the end, if he played it safe, that wouldn't have happened at all. He just wanted to try to knock him out with 5 seconds left. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it. I think what we need to talk about is the fact that O'Malley was up 4-0 and still tried to finish Marlon in the 5th round. I really respect that because a lot of these fighters, we see them take the last couple rounds off, especially if they're up 3-0. Like, O'Malley was really going for the kill. Even his coach said just cruise. Tim Welch told him to cruise, and he didn't. He tried to kill him, and I respect it because we want to see knockouts. We want to see exciting fights. We don't want to say he cruised his way to a decision, boring. O'Malley really impressed me. Being a big O'Malley fan, and I know his fan base can be a little rough sometimes, and I get some of the hate he gets. You have to love this guy's fighting. You're going to watch him. He's the most exciting fighter in the UFC. He's the best striker by far, in my opinion. Like, no one even compares. How do people think Israel Adesanya is on par being the best striker in the UFC? Watch Sean O'Malley, what he did to Marlon Vera. Watch him fight Petr Yan. Watch any of Sean O'Malley's fights. And then watch Israel Adesanya. Majorly different. And I know bantamweight gets an advantage. They're way lighter. Sean O'Malley really impressed me. Showed me exactly why he's my favorite fighter in the UFC. Been on this guy's bandwagon for a long time, okay? I actually have the very first t-shirt he ever released, okay? So I'm not a bandwagon. I've been riding with this guy for a while. Super happy for him. Super sad for Cheeto. Man, his Octagon interview was actually very depressing. But we knew this was going to happen. We knew O'Malley was going to dominate him or Cheeto was going to catch him with a fluky knockout. I did call a decision because I didn't see Cheeto getting knocked out. But watching the fight live, I was like, okay, round 3, Cheeto's getting knocked out after taking all that damage. Round 2, nope, he's made of titanium. Respect to Cheeto. Yeah, O'Malley, he's on another level. I don't think he's losing for a long time. I think he beats Corey Sandhagen easily. I really do. I think he knocks him out. Obviously, I think it's going to be more competitive than this, but I think he's too good. Merab, everyone thinks he's ducking Merab because he called out Ilya. No one wants to see Merab fight for the title. The UFC won't want to see that. They don't like Merab. We'll get into the Ilya call out in a second. I want to say I think O'Malley easily knocks out Merab within 2 rounds. I think he doesn't even do anything with his takedowns. He shoots like crazy. O'Malley's going to catch him with a knee or catch him with a straight. He's going to do something. O'Malley's going to knock him out cold. I promise. I promise you O'Malley will knock out Merab. I don't think O'Malley loses to anyone in this weight class right now. Well, I need to see a couple more from Umar before I even consider that. I think Umar, if he dominates Sandhagen, then maybe I'll be like, uh-oh. But even that, we've seen Umar get dropped. If O'Malley can stuff the takedowns of Umar, he's going to knock out Umar, you know? But that's another topic for another day because Umar's so young and so fresh into the rankings. So we'll see. As for his Ilya call-out, I get it. It's a big fight. That's a big fight. I know they're not superstars, but they're some of the biggest stars in the UFC right now. I could see it happening. I know Ilya said to fight Merab first, which I actually loved because, yes, I think that Ilya versus O'Malley would be electric. I actually kind of think O'Malley would win. Ilya has crazy power. If he catches Sean, it's over. I think Sean's too fast. I really do. I think he's better. I think we're going to have to wait a year or 2 before we see that if they both can keep winning. I want to see O'Malley defend his title at least 2 more times before he fights Ilya. Same with Ilya. I want them each to defend 2 more times. Ilya to fight Volk again, and then probably like Movsar Evloev, and then O'Malley to beat Merab and Sandhagen, you know? And if that happens, make the super fight happen. Grow their stock even. Both these guys are going to keep getting knockouts too, so I think it's a fight we could see one day. Super happy with this event. The card was insane. UFC 300's card is even better, so we'll see how that goes. This main event delivered. Every fight on the card delivered, honestly, besides Camrot. One of the best events I've ever watched. I was so happy I got to watch most of it. I went home early from work. I bribed my boss to go home early to watch these fights, so it was awesome. We'll see what's in store for O'Malley next. I hope it's Merab, honestly. As much as I love Ilya and Sean O'Malley and want them to fight, Merab should be next, and I want to see him knock Merab out. But I just want to watch. I hope O'Malley can stay active. I know he's going to need some time off. He hurt his foot kicking Vera's titanium head, but hopefully he stays more active and we can see 2-3 fights a year from him. I would love that. Super happy with this card. Got a lot of my picks right, I think. So I got Kyler Phillips right, Gamrot right, Barber right. I was wrong about Blades, but I'm so glad I was wrong. I got Peter Yan right. I got JDM right. Wrong about Michael Page and wrong about Benoit St. Denis. Okay, that's fine. And then, of course, O'Malley right. And I was pretty spot on, which I was very happy with. We'll do predictions for UFC 300. I'll also do a fight simulation. I play UFC 5. I break down the card in these videos, so yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, like, comment, subscribe. Just starting this channel, starting to grow it out. And yeah, I'll be back with more content soon. Thank you. See you later. Peace.